For a profession respected by millions around the world, because it aims at saving lives, this man has been dubbed Nigeria's first serial killer doctor after over 5 bodies were discovered under his bed, drowned in an acid drum, and even dumped in bushes. This was after he had satisfied his evil desires. If you're a fan of true crime, mysterious, and even morbid stories, especially those that are focused in Africa and has to do with Africans, then you most certainly want to watch this video till the end. For many, the year 2022 will start with so much hopes and plans for the future. Sadly, for 5 people in different parts of the country, it will be the year of their end because they sought to have a mentor, a lover, a boss, and even make a new friend. At 36,825 square meters in size, Kwara State is situated in the western part of Nigeria and is known to house over 3 million people. This includes indigents and people who are there to either find business or search for greener pastures or just pleasure. One of those people is Abbas Adewale Adeyemi Adio, a 36-year-old man who lived in Kayama, the northwestern part of the state. Abbas was a young Muslim man who obviously has a promising future as he was a medical doctor at the government-owned Kayama General Hospital, and he was happily married with a child. Like every other person educated in the medical field, Dr. Abbas had many people who took him as their personal doctor. He was loved so much in the region, even while he began to gain popularity when he became the chief medical doctor of the hospital. This was a town where many doctors of its level and caliber didn't find favorable, but Dr. Abbas chose to stay back, and for that, his dreams of having his own hospital was encouraged as the people of Kayama town gave him plots of land and supported him as he began the building of his private hospital. However, Dr. Abbas had a dark side to him, one that would leave many wishing him the worst in the world, and all the love he once had would change in the series of events that followed in 2022. Now, reports had it that sometime in July 2022, Dr. Abbas left Kwara State to Benin City, the capital of Edo State in the southern part of Nigeria. Before or after arriving Benin City, Dr. Abbas had met a taxi driver, Emmanuel Yobo, probably online, whom he had agreed with that he was going to pay for the services of being taken around the city since he had some form of businesses to conduct in Benin. For Emmanuel, the taxi driver, this was not something to let pass by, as the pay was good and it was also an opportunity for him to make a new customer from another state. So after Dr. Abbas was done with the business that brought him to Benin City, he had paid Emmanuel and then went back to Kwara State, back to his work. And this was the end that led to the beginning of all the crimes that Dr. Abbas had committed in and around of Kwara State in just a span of 2 years. Dr. Abbas and Emmanuel, the Uber driver, would become very good friends as they would exchange conversations online from time to time. Soon enough, Abbas would tell Emmanuel of his plans of wanting to sell his car to get a better one. He would further let Emmanuel know the offers that was being made in Kwara State, and then Emmanuel will in turn tell him that for the specifications of his car, he can get him a better offer in Benin City. This was obviously beautiful for the both of them. Dr. Abbas would get a higher deal with a better price, and obviously, Mr. Emmanuel will get a cut. Due to how busy Dr. Abbas was, they had to schedule September 2022 for that deal of selling the car to be made. Soon, Dr. Abbas and Emmanuel, the Uber driver, reunited with the car to be sold. Around this period, Mr. Emmanuel had gotten a buyer who had agreed to pay 1.4 million naira, about $2,000 with present-day conversion rate. And on the 3rd of September 2022, the car was sold, and it was an opportunity to have a good time, as the both of them would go back to the bar at the hotel where Dr. Abbas was staying, and they would share a few drinks. But unknowing to Emmanuel, the Uber driver, Dr. Abbas, his friend for over 2 months, had other plans, and these plans were not good. It was said that Emmanuel had complained about a leg pain having driven Dr. Abbas for a long distance and for hours since Dr. Abbas had told him to take him somewhere else. Dr. Abbas then told him that he shouldn't worry, he had something to numb the pain. So instead of taking him to a pharmacy to get tablets, he injected him with a cocktail of poison. Dr. Abbas then proceeded to put the unconscious dying body of Mr. Emmanuel in the victim's car's backseat and then drove to a federal highway leading to another state, Ondo. There, he dumped Emmanuel's now lifeless body that Saturday night and fled to Osogbo, the capital of Osun State, which is hours away from Kwara State. That's about 299 kilometers, a 5-hour 30-minute drive away from Kayama town. It was a few days later. At this point, Emmanuel's relatives and family members have not seen him, nor have they heard from him. And then they went to the police. Now, through the police, they discovered that his car had a tracking device, with which they traced the vehicle to Osun State, where they arrested Dr. Abbas with the vehicle on the 7th of September 2022. However, this was just the beginning, as the police would uncover what would leave Kayama town and the nation at large in shock of what level of evil Dr. Abbas was capable of. Investigation led to the fact that he was linked to over 3 other murders in just 2021. 36-year-old Dr. Abbas was said to have been married for 2 years or more around the time of his arrest. Now, while he was married, he was cheating on his wife with his girlfriend Ifeoluwa, a student of Kwara State Polytechnic. And after telling her family members that she was going to see someone, she was later declared missing, and then her body was discovered in a bush many weeks later. This was obviously the beginning. The fact that many people had gone missing or have been found dead after having a connection with Dr. Abbas raised suspicion. And then another unsolved case sprung up for evaluation. That is the case of Nafisat Halidu, a nurse and a mother who worked under Dr. Abbas's leadership. It seemed like at the time Dr. Abbas's method was to capture people close to him, demand for ransom, and then murder them. Now, this was confirmed by Nafisat's husband, who said he received a call from someone who claimed to be her kidnapper and demanded for 30 million naira, about $42,900. When he was not able to pay, they stopped contacting him, and that was the last time he heard anything about his wife. Now, that's not all. A medical student, Abubakar, who was said to be undergoing a medical training under Dr. Abbas, mysteriously went missing sometime in 2021. According to his father, he called his son to remind him of the Islamic prayers, but his phone was not reachable, so he decided to visit the hospital to find out what was up. When Abubakar's father got to the hospital, he had a language barrier with Dr. Abbas, so he called Abubakar's friend, and then his friend translated what his father wanted. And then Dr. Abbas revealed to his father that the last time he saw his son was when he told him to get something from his office when they were outside. When Abubakar's father went home, he also got a call that demanded for 15 million naira, about half the amount of Nurse Nafisat's. Abubakar's father was only able to raise over 1 million naira, and after he had sent it to the alleged kidnapper, they stopped contacting him. Now, the big question is, how was Dr. Abbas linked to both the death of Ifeoluwa, Nurse Nafisat, and the medical student Abubakar? Sources had it that Dr. Abbas allegedly confessed to have injected Abubakar, the medical student, with a cocktail poison when he sought the boy's audience outside of his office. Now, after that was done, he sold his body to alleged organ harvesters. Organ traffickers, basically. Nigerian police officers raided his office, where during a search of his documents and records about the medical doctor and Nurse Nafisat, they noticed a freshly tiled section of the office where a mattress was. Obviously, he had been laying on that mattress over some time, so they decided to raise the mattress and dig freshly made tiles, and that was where they discovered a decomposing body of an unidentified person with a few clothing still left on. Further search in Dr. Abbas's office led them to a chemical waste bin whose top was cemented. By the time they broke it open, they discovered the decomposing body of Nurse Nafisat with vital organs around her chest missing. They also discovered bags and other belongings that belonged to Ifeoluwa, his girlfriend, and Nurse Nafisat. Finally, when officers visited the new home he was building, they discovered voodoo charms and then a wooden casket that had bloodied male genes in it. At the moment, Dr. Abbas is still refusing to take responsibility for the murders of all these people except Emmanuel, the Uber driver.
It's not deliberate. I never meant to harm him. If there's something I can do right now, even at the expense of my own life, to bring him back, I will do it.
One thing we're so sure of is the fact that he's going to spend probably the rest of his life in jail.